So next we have here is Honda, the car maker. Now, obviously many car manufacturers has been pushing for electric vehicles. I'm not so much enamored with electric vehicles technology because there's still a lot of problems associated with it in terms of battery charging, you know, distance of how far you can go before you can charge it and how long it takes to charge it. So I'm more sold on the AI technology. I think it was introduced by, not introduced, but it was popularized when Tesla released their first model car, Model 3, Model Series, I forgot which one. Anyway, Honda is the first car manufacturer ever to produce have a production car that has a level 3 self-driving technology. Now, obviously, that's in an ideal world. When you go to your car, travel from one place to another, you just have to sit and relax, not to worry, whether, are you going to hit someone? Is it going to collide with another vehicle and so forth? A lot of companies have been touting that they have self-driving features, but as mentioned in the article here, there are different levels of self-driving certification in a sense, or designation, so to speak. So let's take a closer look. So when you say self-driving, where was it? There you go. So when you say self-driving, meaning it can drive on itself without any assistance from the driver themselves. Now, Honda is touting this enhanced version of its Sensing Advanced Driver Assistance System, or ADAS, they're calling it, so that they will be the first commercially available level 3 system. Sad to say, only in the domestic market in Japan. So it's not yet going to be available worldwide, but it's tremendous what they're doing here. So it's similar to how Tesla is doing using conditional automation here, but it goes beyond. So to further elucidate what different levels of driving means, so here we have an article here. Yeah, it's the same webpage from the drive.com. So there are different levels of autonomy here. There are 5 levels actually. So let's take a closer look here what those 3 levels are. So if you can see here, level 0 means there's no automation. So that, like what our car, we're driving it right now, right? There's no automation, so it has to be reliant on the driver themselves. Now, level 1 here is driver assistance. So meaning, from the term itself, it requires assistance from the driver. So whether you're using adaptive cruise, which some of the car manufacturers already adopted in many of the vehicles, but not all of it, some of the more premium vehicles. So it still falls in that category. So level 2, on the other hand, they call it partial automation options. So meaning like how Tesla's autopilot works here, or Volvo's autopilot. So meaning, what do? So they will manage both your speed and steering under certain conditions. So typically you use this in highway driving. I think this is what being popular, like they're calling it AI self-driving vehicle. Not necessarily. So it's still in its infant stage if you think about it. So it has benefits, but it's still limited. So it cannot be fully autonomous, like in this case. So that's level 1, level 0, no automation. Level 2, driver assistance. Level 2, partial automation. Here's where it gets interesting. In level 3, it's conditional automation. So this is a more advanced level we're in. So rather than the driver takes over actively monitoring the environment when the system is engaged. So meaning, instead of the person focus on monitoring the environment, it's the car doing themselves. Now, is it fully automated? Not necessarily. There's still a limitation as to this condition. Meaning, so for example, in a traffic situation, it can take over tedious job of creeping through highway, especially in our city, where it's very congested, especially for peak hours. So especially for low speed, below 37 miles per hour, so the AI will kick in and manage it. So move forward, stop, move forward, and stop, and so forth, or even change lane here. So, but once it goes beyond 37 kilometers, it's up to the driver to adjust to it. So it's not fully automated to this point. Here's the interesting part. So in level 4, okay, so there's no car makers that have reached this level. So level 4 means high automation, meaning it's self-driving itself already, and it can handle most of the driving or the dynamic driving task here. So meaning, this is the goal that I think that's ideal, to be able to call yourself driverless vehicles. So meaning, level 4 car can handle most normal driving tasks on its own, but it will still require driver intervention from time to time. So maybe instead of 50% share of driver and automation, it's now creeping to 70, 80, or even 90%. But there's still a small portion of driver interaction needed here. The highest level, as mentioned, is level 5, wherein full automation is already featured here, meaning humans are nothing but cargo, meaning the car can drive itself anytime, anywhere, and under any conditions. And obviously, this is what the holy grail that all car manufacturers are trying to achieve here. But obviously, that's going to take a lot of time, resources, and investment to be able to achieve the success that they're trying to achieve here. Anyway, so going back to the article as mentioned. So, uh, like what Honda is trying to achieve here. So, giving the technology, obviously, changing lanes, during traffic jams, it's better than nothing, right? And it only requires zero input from the driver, unless unless you have to change lanes, or you have to speed up your vehicle again. And obviously, I think there was an issue, or not necessarily scandal, but Audi was touting their AI automation in terms of level 3, which they had to retract in their article later on. So in this case, you know, it was surprising that Honda was able to produce such technology way ahead of their competitors here. And obviously, the system, the feature that it cues the driver to reassume control through auditory, haptic, and visual alerts. So the driver doesn't re-engage the controls because they're busy with, TikTok. And I think one of the discussion I discussed last time is, one of the failings of many drivers assuming that it has uh, self-driving features doesn't mean you can sleep or disengage totally or not focus on the driving of the vehicle itself, because you can still be caught in an accident, and that could be catastrophic, and lives could be lost here if they are not careful with that scenario there. Anyway, so Honda is claiming that their sensing elite has been tested roughly around 10 million unique simulated scenarios. So that's a lot of scenarios. But again, it's still not yet foolproof. And to become fully automated, it has to go to level 4 and even level 5, which is higher. And that's going to take even more simulations and even more mileage. So they're stating that it's already accumulated 800,000 miles of real-world testing. So obviously, more data is always preferred to iron out the kinks, because I'm sure not all scenarios have been taken into account, and it's impossible to take everything into account. It only, happens over time unless you actually test it out in the real world. But I'm excited that many car vehicles or car makers are in this path of introducing self-driving vehicle. Now I would like to be able to do that, not just drive by itself but park itself. Less chore for drivers like me and for the rest, and make it more convenient. Now obviously the car manufacturers will take advantage of it and charge you more, but that's the price you pay for better technology here.